Well, life is hard, so you got to make choices, and you guys make your own choices. I'm just putting the information out there. You got to make your own choice. So, uh, Chicago activist who did some good work against the Church of Scientology is, I don't know if it's a formal request, but they're letting people know that there's an activist who's sick and she's suffering and she may need help. So, you guys go there, decide for yourself if that's a worthy cause or not worthy cause. But then we have definitely some unworthy causes, which brings us to the notorious DOA. We've done a little bit on this, but basically, the short story is that he's not doing a GoFundMe. He is raising money, but it's a different platform. I've noted the platform, whether you like it or not, is pretty right wing, and I think DOA's politics are a little bit all over the place. But he does lean towards some left anarchist positions. So I don't know if this is entirely consistent. I already did a video on that. I'm not going to repeat myself. We're getting into the different aspects here of just the money and where is he with the money. So he's facing several court cases. Some involve the church, some don't involve the church. And we're dealing with estimates here. So don't quote me, but one estimate is that he has about $25,000 already built up, but they want more. Apparently, there's going to be an auction asking for more Moonite. Again, got to make your own choice whether you think this is a cause worth supporting. I'm just going to go where we have some solid numbers. So the Give Send Go has somewhat over $9,000, like $9,300. But it's being operated by Pink Panther. So is Pink Panther DOA himself? Don't know. Corporation, is it Lara? Don't know that either. So a lot of questions. So officially with the Give Send Go, it's a little over 9,000 and they're asking for 15,000. Okay, interesting. Interesting. But at one point, Lara in one of the videos is like, again, just going from my memory, I could track down the video. She was like, "Oh, we need like 60,000. Yeah, we need that 60,000." Okay. Well, the Give Send Go thing is officially going for 15,000. Now he's splitting the cases. He's got the case against the church, but the prosecutor is also raising questions with the UCLA protests. Again, being brief, there were a lot of protests at UCLA and California over the Palestine issue. I'm sure there were other issues. If you go to these radical left protests, they usually bundle quite a few issues together that are not formally stated. But the main thing was the Palestine-Israeli conflict and the polarization over that. I should know my own biases. I'm very anti-Israeli because they're committing war crimes. So there we go. So those are the legal cases he's facing. But what to make about the politics of the Moon Eye and raising the Moon Eye? Well, you can't do GoFundMe because GoFundMe has restrictions with violent crimes. I do think there's leeway with raising money for legal issues, but when it comes to violence, that's like a no-go. And technically, this is not a violent case, but basically, I think DOA had something that could be construed as a weapon. So they're charging him with something that could cause bodily harm. And there you go. What is the thing? I don't know. Pepper spray or whatever, but they found something on him that's like, this is akin to assault. It's not actual assault, but there you go. Now, I'm not going to lie for DOA either. I do think there's a tape out there where he was putting somebody in a chokehold. They got into a big fight at the La Poob, which was a major place that they thought should be harangued. A whole other mess, but I don't know if they're including that. Well, we're going to get more and more details as the actual case goes forward. And it's coming quick. Apparently, it's going to be in May. So there you go. So does he really need the money? Well, he's saying he's going to use a public defender, at least for part of the case. And presumably the public defender is free, although I would imagine he pay some court costs, right? Nothing is totally free in America. So he's saving some money with the public defender. So does he need this amount? And what was Lara talking about with the 60,000? I mean, I understand what they're trying to do. Like Lara can say they need 60,000. I like that it's necessary. It's not, oh, we need to hire the best lawyers. No, it's like 60,000, guys. 60,000. Come on, guys. Come on. We're fighting the churches. Hmm. Hmm. Well, I've never fought the Church of Scientology in court, and let's be very clear that the church is notorious with how they litigate, doing fake lawsuits, harassing people, private investigators. So again, very clear, this is a really evil, bad, fascist corporation. Be very clear there. Let's be very clear. So getting into a legal fight with Scientology can actually be costly. Now, is this really going to cost whatever $20,000 to $50,000? That's doubtful. That's doubtful. I'm sure it seems like the judge is friendly to DOA from his own commentary, so some of these charges will probably not hold up. Some of them will. They're not too alarming, but the way these things work in the legal process, he'll probably just plead it down to time served. He's been in jail a few times. Uh, Time served, probation, and restrictions. I mean, really, what they're trying to do is prevent him from being around Scientology buildings. Now, the main protests have been in California, but I'm guessing as a part of their agreement, they're going to be like, no, no buildings, no Scientologies, none. That doesn't mean you can't protest, right? But I'm guessing they're going to start getting into some weird stuff with the online stuff because, good or bad, DOA is all out. So he's attacking Scientology on social media, his YouTube page, and so on and so forth. So I'm guessing they're going to try to slip in, no YouTube videos either, Judge, Your Honors. I want total restrictions. We're the victims here. So, yeah, this is a rough one because Ken Moxon is the devil. He's the Scientology lawyer they turn to when they want to do these lawyer tricks. So he's all kinds of evil. But DOA has a very shifty record. Very shifty record. You can be positive, saying it's a good shifty record. He's a rebel on our cause, or you can be he's just not a cause at all. But there you go. So it's a little bit of confusing with him all the time. I'm just trying to crunch the numbers, and it still doesn't add up. I would assume this should be within that vicinity, 20 to 30,000. And again, remember, this is the official thing they're raising here, but DOA does make money. He sells things. I'm sure he has his own private business. So this guy's an entrepreneur. So let's be clear, he's probably not stating the full amount that he has, which is his right, right? This is private information. He doesn't have to tell us every single inch of his finances. Let's be very clear there. And Lara supposedly works as well. She's not going to be helping out. So, yeah. I don't know. So, but again, I'm just here to be fair on all sides. So I'm having doubts that it is only technically 9,000 really raised. I'm sure it's much closer to 16, 17, 18,000. I'm sure that's the real amount they have. They probably just need one or two more thousand to be really safe. Again, depending on the lawyer they get, working per hour, getting them only for what they need to know. Again, DOA can do some of this legal stuff on his own. He's been to court numerous times, numerous times. So a lot of the paperwork he can do himself. So don't cry for DOA. Still, I guess the aspiration is to get to 50,000. So they'll tap out here officially at 15,000. And hey, another GoFund something page will emerge. Hey, we need an extra 10,000. For what? Oh, reasons. Just we need it. We need the extra 10,000. Well, I'm having doubts we need all this money, even for fighting the church, but that is my guesstimate. I'm just here to state the record that DOA has been copyright striking a numerous amounts of channels. I've not been one of them, just to be fair, but quite a few channels he's been attacking and trying to censor them. So it feels a little weird if he's a free speech protester. Free speech is like, nah, none for you. And his reasoning is, well, that's the system. Okay. Anyway, so Kellycopter, first trying to silence him, is not a good person. So Kellycopter is a big hypocrite. However, DOA is being a lesser hypocrite because if you're going to ask for money to be a free speech activist, it's better if you practice what you preach. But apparently, for retaliation, he's going after a ton of channels. Why? Don't know. But hey, that's the system, guys. Okay, whatever, King, whatever, King. And again, you decide for yourself if you want to support this activist in Chicago. There we are. So you decide what you do with your money, and there we are.